Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is right here, everyone. Thank you for joining me and welcome back to the channel. Guys, it looks like Scientology might have lost yet another celebrity, and this is one that the media has not picked up on yet. And I'm talking about Ethan Suplee. I'm gonna make my case for why it looks like he has left Scientology, and I'm hoping maybe this will cause some people to come out of the woodwork and confirm for me what actually is going on here. Now, one of the reasons Ethan Suplee leaving Scientology would be a very big deal is because he is married to Juliette Lewis's sister, Brandy Lewis. And the Lewis family has been in Scientology for decades. Juliette Lewis is one of the few celebrities who still, on occasion, will publicly talk about Scientology in the press. And yet I did a search while getting ready for this video, and I don't see Juliette Lewis saying anything very recently. And the evidence about Ethan Suplee has been out there for about a year and a half now. And if his position or him drifting away from Scientology was going to cause him and his wife Brandy Lewis to get a divorce, well, there's plenty of time for that to have already occurred by now. So if Ethan has been drifting away for a year and a half or more now, and he's still married to Brandy, and the Lewis family is still tight, then perhaps Brandy Lewis and Juliette Lewis and, you know, the greater family members, perhaps Scientology is about to lose a whole lot more than just Ethan Suplee. Now, back in May 2004, I put up this post on Facebook just to some former Scientology friends, and I said, Ethan Suplee is on Joe Rogan today. They're talking about Ethan's massive weight loss. I'm less than a third of a way through the interview, but so far, Ethan is not talking like a Scientologist at all. Some of what he's saying I would never expect to come out of a Scientologist's mouth, like talking about having mental illness, talking about lack of free will, etc. I'm waiting to hear some buzzwords like survival and ethical, but none so far. Does anyone know for sure if Ethan is still in, or perhaps he has drifted away? Now, this post was almost exactly a year and a half ago. And at this time, my friends who at least exist in that orbit of, you know, the Hollywood Scientologists said they didn't have specific information about Ethan, but to the best of their knowledge, Brandy Lewis was still very heavily involved, as was Juliette Lewis. So the preponderance of the evidence tended to indicate Ethan was probably still in, but maybe was just being careful talking about Scientology since it's not exactly a good career move. This subject came up again just a couple weeks ago when former Scientologist Jason Lee tagged Ethan in an Instagram post. You can't see the entire post, but what this is Jason Lee was posting on Instagram about Rhode Island Comic-Con that was coming up. And he said, me and this guy, Michael Rooker, along with another legend, Ethan Suplee, will be at, and you can't see it, but it says Rhode Island Comic-Con. Now, guys, this might not look like a big deal, but Jason Lee publicly departed Scientology, which is a suppressive act in Scientology. 6 years ago, Jason Lee went public and spoke to the press about having left Scientology. That is considered one of the most, well, I'll use the word high crimes. One of the highest of the high crimes in Scientology is publicly departing Scientology, and speaking to the press is definitely the most public way to publicly depart Scientology. CBS News reported back in September of 2016, Jason Lee reveals he has left the Church of Scientology. Jason Lee is no longer a practicing Scientologist. The 46-year-old actor and his family moved to Denton, Texas last year, and he recently quietly shared the news with local outlet The Dentonite. When asked what business he owns in Denton, Lee took the opportunity to clear up rumors about himself. If my wife, Saren, and I had an idea for a business, it certainly wouldn't happen at the cost of someone else's. And being that we don't practice Scientology and that we aren't particularly interested in opening religious centers in general, we have no plans to open a Scientology center. Okay, so he was responding to some rumors in the community that he had moved to Denton to essentially create like a foothold, establish a Scientology base. And it's one thing for someone to come out and say, no, that's not what we're planning on doing. It's another thing to come out and say, we are no longer Scientologists. And whereas it might seem like a kind of a relatively minor, not very harmful statement, you have to understand that to a Scientologist who's been in Scientology for decades, as Jason Lee was, he knows exactly what it means to other Scientologists that he would say something like that to the press. Now, I have gone to Jason Lee's Instagram and Ethan Suplee's Instagram and tried to find this post that I showed you a screenshot of, and I can't find the post anywhere. I'm not sure if I'm just missing it, but I've looked pretty thoroughly, and it looks like once screenshots of that post of Jason tagging Ethan started making the rounds, one or the other or both of them deleted that post. Now we fast forward to Rhode Island Comic Con itself, and we see many photos of Ethan and Jason posing in photos with fans. Now, Ethan and Jason, these guys, not only are they long-term friends from when they were in Scientology and probably even before Scientology. Ethan was in Mallrats with Jason Lee. Ethan and Jason obviously both starred and co-starred in My Name is Earl, a huge network TV show that was on the air for many, many years. These guys have a lot of shared history. And yet for Jason to have publicly departed Scientology, it would be considered a suppressive act for Ethan to be seen as supporting Jason Lee in any way. It would be like Elizabeth Moss doing a photo shoot with Leah Remini. It would never happen. Even if Elizabeth Moss wanted to do that, she's still a hardcore, true-believing Scientologist who's connected to Scientologists. She wouldn't be allowed to publicly associate with Leah Remini in any way, shape, or form. The same holds true for Ethan Suplee and Jason Lee, although perhaps to a lesser extent. So we have a bunch of circumstantial evidence here piling up to create what in my opinion is a pretty strong case. If we throw back to the May 2021 post that I made, I mean, these are not small examples actually. Ethan's on Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the world even at that time, and he's talking about like having mental illness. That's something you would never hear come out of the mouth of a Scientologist. He talks about not having free will. Even if you're just talking about the Sam Harris version of not having free will, that is directly counter to what Scientologists believe on the subject. So it's odd, Scientology celebrities, part of their role is to kind of introduce Scientology concepts into popular culture, even if they're not directly talking about Scientology. So you've got Ethan, who's not only not doing that, not talking about Scientology, not giving Scientology any credit for anything that's going well in his life, but he's talking about concepts that directly contradict what Scientology believes. It's kind of a big deal, guys. I mean, in the Scientology world, this is a big deal. And we also have what looks like a pretty good example of Scientology celebrities being able to live by a different set of rules than your non-celebrity members. Why is Ethan Suplee allowed to associate with people who have publicly departed Scientology, and yet Scientology isn't putting pressure on the Lewis family to handle or disconnect? Or is it possible that that is what's happening behind the scenes and we just don't know about it? Or is it possible that the entire Juliette Lewis, Brandy Lewis, Ethan Suplee, and extended family are all on their way slowly and quietly out of Scientology? Guys, that would be such fantastic news. And I truly hope for all of their sake that that is in fact what is happening. How awesome would it be that if after all these years, the entire family is going to stop wasting their time and their money on this soul-sucking, family-destroying cult? I genuinely hope that's what's happening. So that's all I know on this for now, guys. If I learn anything else helpful, any good news, I will share it with you. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe